versus Jake Paul. You know, Mike Tyson is going to be fighting Jake Paul pretty soon. And so they're all ready for the fight. You know, they've both done the conditioning. You know, they're both in great shape. They're both legitimate heavyweights. Jake Paul's been at the boxing game for a few years now. He's had good boxing training. You know, he's in there sparring. He's in there lifting. He's in there doing his work. He's putting his road work in. He's doing his thing. Mike Tyson, a lot of you don't really know what the history of Mike Tyson, especially if a lot of you, some of you who are a little bit younger. So I want to break it down. Mike Tyson was the youngest heavyweight champion ever. Youngest heavyweight champion ever. From 1985, I would say, to 1989, Mike Tyson was the man. There was nothing like him. You know, he would make you miss. He'd hit you. He would hurt you. He'd throw combinations. That was Mike Tyson in the 80s. Then, you know, Mike Tyson went to jail. He gets out. He has his first fight in 1995 against Peter McNeely. He was still fast. He had lost a lot of his boxing ability, but such a gifted athlete that he was still able to knock people out because he was so strong. But when he was with Kevin Rooney and before that Teddy Atlas, he learned a system called the peekaboo boxing system, the custom model system that his trainer showed him. So that's Mike Tyson. That's his background, right? One of the best heavyweights ever. Now, Jake Paul doesn't have that type of background like Mike Tyson does, but he's still a decent fighter. No, he doesn't have the background, like I'm saying, like Mike, but he's still a good fighter, and Mike has to be careful because Mike is 30 years older than Jake Paul. And what happens as you get older, your reaction time diminishes. So Mike might see the punch is coming, maybe he wants to move, and he still gets hit because when he was younger, he wouldn't get hit. So he has that a little bit against him. What he has for him is that he's a puncher. The last thing you lose is power. Mike Tyson has tremendous power, and hopefully he can still put combinations together. He's in really good shape. That's what he has for him. He's got a great chin. So Mike Tyson's chin is like granite. All the times that Mike Tyson lost, it took boxers much bigger, much better than Jake Paul. It took him round after round after round to hit Mike Tyson in order to knock him out. So if you think Jake Paul's gonna knock out Mike Tyson, I don't really see that happening. If Jake Paul were to win, it's gonna be through points. You know what I mean? Jake Paul would have to win through points. I don't think that Jake Paul is gonna end up, knocking out Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson's jaw is just too strong. Plus, Mike Tyson has great head movement. If he can establish that head movement, like when he was younger, which is the custom model, the peekaboo style demands, he can get underneath the jab. And if he can establish his jab, and that's going to help Tyson win, right? So Mike Tyson once, 95 to 2004 or 5 when he was fighting, he still had a decent career, not the career he had in his mid, late 80s when he was explosive and everything because he was with Kevin Rooney. A lot of boxing experts say that the evolution of Mike Tyson as far as a boxer stopped around 89 when he fought against Douglas. He got hit more that night than he had the previous 30 fights. So you think about how much it diminished. So now Mike Tyson is 58. Jake Paul's in his mid-20s. He's looking sharp. So the thing is, what I want to talk about, can Mike Tyson still beat him? Can Mike Tyson beat Paul? Well, he can, but he's got to do some things. First of all, he's got to establish his jab. So, Mike Tyson comes from the peekaboo boxing system, which demands a lot of movement, side-to-side movement, keeping your hands high. So Mike Tyson, he has to establish the jab, and he's got to establish movement after the jab. So when he jabs, he's got to be able to move and keep the right hand high so he doesn't get hit by that hook because Paul has good power too, right? Another thing Tyson must do in order to win, he's got to put punches together. So Mike Tyson comes from the peekaboo boxing system, and it demands a lot of punches be put together and moving after the punch. So some of Tyson's best combinations when he was younger, what he would do number 6 and a 4. So a 6 would be a body punch to the spleen, and then a 4 would be the uppercut. So Tyson will get in this position here, throw that number 6 here, step back, and then rip that uppercut straight up underneath the guard. If Tyson can establish those type of punches against Paul, he has a good legitimate chance of knocking him out. But in order to establish that, he's got to get inside. He's got to get inside with the jab. So Mike Tyson's got to be able to be on his toes. He's got to stay quick. He's got to jab. He's got to move his head. And he's got to get in where Paul's at. Once he gets in, he can throw that hook to the liver. He can throw that uppercut. But he's got to be able to get inside because obviously Jake Paul's a taller man and the younger man. And he's going to probably be a little bit faster. But Mike Tyson still has good speed and great power. But he's got to put combinations together. It's going to be hard if Tyson comes in with a jab and then Holyfield was giving Paul advice to kind of grab him and to smother Mike. If you smother Mike, well, he can't really get the punches off. But if Tyson can break free and throw those combinations, right, then Tyson has a good chance of winning. He's got to be able to get combinations off, though. He's got to be able to get his 5-6-5s, his 2-1-2s. You know, he's got to get that 6-4 in there. He's got to maybe throw some 3, 4, 5 lefts at the same time. Maybe a 5-5, a 3-3, and a 1, and move back and forth. If Tyson can establish those type of movements, Tyson can be very dangerous, right? But also Jake Paul is no piece of cake. The more Tyson tries to get in there, the more Paul has a time to hit him or to counter him or to even time him correctly. Because, you know, one flaw of the peekaboo style, people say that it can be timed, right? It can be timed. And it's true. Any style has a flaws in it. Doesn't matter what you use, there's going to be flaws, and your opponent's going to try to expose those flaws. But the thing is, can Jake Paul do it? Does he actually have the know-how to do it? Because Tyson was a pro for so many years. You don't just lose that overnight, right? So again, Mike Tyson, in order to win, he's got to establish combinations. If he's just throwing one jab at a time, and then just kind of one jab, and then they lock up, one jab and lock up, Tyson's not going to be able to beat him. He's got to jab, get inside, you know, throw that hook, get on the other side, throw that 6, throw the 4, you know, maybe throw, if Tyson's great at throwing that right and then coming underneath with the other right and then the uppercut and then coming on the other side, left, coming again, bam, bam, boom, that 2-piece. If Tyson get punches and bunches like he's taught to, then it could be an early night for Mike. But is he going to do that? And then another thing, you know, boxing, there's a lot of things behind boxing that sometimes they want the fight to go longer. It's entertainment. So what type of Mike Tyson are we going to see? Are we going to see the animal from the 80s, combinations, punches and bunches? Are you going to see the Mike Tyson of the 90s who was just a puncher, flat-footed, throwing one punch at a time, who's still dangerous, but not as dangerous, obviously, as Mike Tyson from the 80s, but still dangerous and still a handful. So what Mike Tyson are we going to see? That's the thing. That's the thing we want to know. Who's coming to fight? And how's the fight gonna get us set out? So my prediction that Mike Tyson does win. He does win only and if he can put combinations together. Only if he establishes jab, his head movement. Another thing Mike has, he's got great head movement and also he's got great footwork where he can shift his feet. If he can shift his feet efficiently and he can, you know, pace himself as well because he's 58, right? So if he can pace himself, if he can throw the combinations, if he can move his head, and he puts punches and bunches, and does not underestimate Paul, Tyson can win. And I believe he will win if he does those things. But he cannot underestimate Paul because he's also professional. He's got professional training. He's in shape. He's got a lot of strength. So he can't underestimate him. So that's my prediction. Tyson wins if he does those things. I'm a big Tyson fan. It's on my channel. You can see a lot of custom model videos and the peekaboo style. I'm a big fan of it. Does it have flaws? Yes. But you can use some of that and adapt other things too, like a Bruce Lee type of boxing. But it's great for conditioning. I believe Tyson is in good shape. He's strong enough to win. And hopefully, you know, we get a good boxing match. That's what we want to see. Hopefully, people like me who are a Tyson fan, we get to see Tyson victorious. Hopefully by a knockout, if not at least by points, right? So hopefully we see that. And till the next time, thanks for watching. And peace out, everyone.